In this video, I'm going to talk about the trades I took, the trades I missed, and the trades I was supposed to take advantage of, and the trades I won. So this video is all about the weekly recap, what I did the entire week. And let me just write this down. So what do I look at on the market? I look at on the market. This is how I approach the market. So first of all, I want to see a higher time frame, BOS, which should be majority of the time daily, 4 hour and 2 hours. I really like the 1 hour, 2 hours, and I really like the 2 hours or the 1 hour or 1 hour. 1 hour. Then my entry will be the lower time frame. Which is mostly 15 minutes, 15.5, and then 3 minutes. I don't go below that. Alright, so this is what I'm looking out for. So I'm just looking out for a higher time frame. BOS and demand. So demand, comma, or supply zone. So the same thing applies over here. I'm looking at the same thing here. On the, let me put it right here. On the smaller time frame too. Okay, now let me just demonstrate what I'm looking at, an example of what I'm looking at on this trade, or on how my setup formed this week. So first of all, I looked at this side. You can see that prices has made an all-time high, and so you can see there's a break of structure. There is a break of structure around this zone. You can see there's a break of structure. So after this break of structure, I'll just use this side. You can see that this candle breakthrough, so there's a break of structure to the upside. So we are in a bullish trend. Okay, then I'll descend to the lower time frame. You can see that the daily too, we still have a break of structure here, and so on the daily, this is supposed to be our demand zone, but price is too far from that side. But I will still consider that as a demand zone, but we want to trade the bullish whilst we are waiting for demand zone to come to the side. So this was my thought process on this trade, but I messed up on this trade because I didn't make money on this trade, zero money on this trade. But it is what it is. I'll learn from it, and next time I implemented it this week. So what I did was I made a mistake, a huge mistake. So we'll go to the 4 hour. You can see that we still have a break of structure here. Okay. So now, why did I enter around this area, or why did I consider buying around this area? So first of all, I made a mistake. The first mistake I made was to just go right after the 5 minutes to look for the demand zone. I made a huge mistake over there. Where I placed my demand zone, I spotted the demand zone around this zone, this area, and I was taking out as a liquidity, or whatever. I was taking out as a liquidity. So you can see that this chart is a bit the candles are not complete, or the candles didn't form well. But when you go to other brokers, you see that the candles form well. So using two different charts made me made me consider here as a demand zone, but which wasn't a demand zone. So I made a mistake over there, and I've taken my L. I took a huge loss over there, and it was okay. Then, but I didn't give up. I was like, okay, my bias is still. I'll still consider taking this trade. So after that, I waited for price to break the structure, this zone, and what I did was that I got an entry around this zone. And the way price was pushing to the downside, so this is a higher. My target was a higher time frame target, so 4 hour. I pushed to the upside. I think to the upside, because I used the higher time frame to make the bias, but the smaller time frame was just to make an entry. To make an entry. So first of all, I missed this, and I didn't miss this trade. I took this trade, and I exited manually because of the push that was coming, which was a very bad decision I took that day. Very, very bad decision. I don't know what came over me, and I just exited because I took a loss too over here. It really affected me so badly. Then after that, I was like, nah, I can't take this loss again, which was a bad decision I took, because this was after this test right here. That was just the biggest struggle. After this test right here, you can see the price was just rallying to the upside, and like I could have made this trade very easy. You can see that the chart is very, very easy. Even price didn't come to my zone to come and touch me or wake me out, I could have made this trade very, very easy. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. When you see it after, it looks simple, but when you're in the process, it's very, very difficult. But I made a stupid decision though. I'll take my L for it. And so I moved on to the next day. So you can see the the next day price came to this zone, and was consolidating in the morning, which was the landing session. So my target was still here. My target was still above here. But I made a decision of considering here as a zone again, the demand zone. This zone rather, as a demand zone. I wanted price to come and touch here and go to the outside, but price didn't come. Price used this side instead. Price didn't come to this side. Price used this side instead, and which was a trade I missed. I didn't consider here as a push to the upside. I didn't consider that, which was a trade I missed. I missed a good trade. And even after that, I could have gotten an entry here to put my buys here, and then this side. So here, first of all, we can see that we had a break of structure here, and then after the break of structure, price came back to the demand zone and came to touch here. So what you've seen on the higher time frame, you can use it as the same entry model on the smaller time frame. That is what I do. I just use the bigger time frame to spot the zone. Then after that, I go to the smaller time frame to get an entry, and my entry needs to fall within some certain period. I think this trade, I didn't consider it as an entry because I wasn't active by then. It happened around 8, and I didn't set buy limits because of what happened here too, because I made a stupid decision here. So so that is what happened on Tuesday, Wednesday, and I think Thursday we didn't get any trade. After that, I didn't look at this trade again. Then I move on to BTC2. I missed the trade on BTC. So BTC2, the same analogy. So first of all, I'll consider breakout on the higher time frame, which is what the 2 hours, the daily, and all those things. But first of all, let me go to the daily. So this is what I was considering first. I considered this side. Price has touched this zone, but I didn't really like the touch, because the touch wasn't, you can see that this touch wasn't massive like that. And looking at where price is coming from, you can see that price is just dropping massively, but still the bulls are still inside, but the bearish is just going tanking. You can see that the candles are huge over here, so price is beginning to change towards to the bearish side. So I considered here as a touch. You can see this is a demand zone, this is a break of structure on the higher time frame. We'll have our break of structure on the higher time frame. Then after that, we'll switch towards the lower time frame to look for another entry. So there's another one. After this happened, we waited for this to happen. After this happened, I placed my buy limit here. My buy limit around this zone, and my target was around here. Yeah, I think here, thereabout. But I didn't get an entry here. You can see that price came to my zone. I was active. I was thinking price will come back, but price didn't come back again. And it is what it is. You miss trade. So after this, price just started going up. I just lost interest in this trade, deleted all my orders, and went on to the next pair. So I was looking at this on a Wednesday, because after I missed the US 30 trade, then I was looking at this on Wednesday. So Wednesday, you can see that. Then after that, this is gold. So let me just, I'm looking at gold 2 on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, so you can see gold. This was a beautiful bullish move that I made. So after this break of structure on the higher time frame, you can see 4 hour. If you go to the daily, you can see 4 hour, daily. So this is a beautiful break of structure on the 4 hour, and even on the daily. I think that the daily too. Okay, the daily I'll consider here as a break of structure. This side, a structure which has been broken on the daily. So eventually price will come down to the downside and shoot to the upside. So most of the time price comes to the downside. So that's what it did. Came to this zone. So how will I spot this zone, or how will I spot this demand zone? So the demand zone, I looked at because this candle, we can't spot any demand zone here. So I'll go to where the smaller time frame, which is here. This will be my last candle. Then I'll put my buy stop here. So this happened on Tuesday. This was my plan for the next day, but actually I woke up 2 a.m. to take this trade. But by the time I came, I don't know what happened. Price just came to tap the zone in and out, boom, and just made massive move to the upside, which was very beautiful. I really like the way the price pushed to the upside, and it's very, very beautiful. I really like the way price moved to the upside. I was like, okay. So during that day, I was like, let me just look for another trade during the day, because this happened earlier, and my bias was here too. I was looking at price coming down to this side, because we had a break of structure here. First we had a break of this candle, broke the structure, and price didn't come back again. So the reason why price didn't come back to this side again, you can see that price used the demand zone on the 2 hours. The demand zone on the 2 hours. So majority of the time, what I need to pay attention is that whenever there's a demand zone on a higher time frame, I need to consider that one first before considering the lower time frame demands. You understand? Yeah, but I think this trade, I was a bit looking at where I'll put my stops and all those things. So I wanted to consider the 1 hour demand zone first. So you can see that this one I used the 2 hours demand zone, and my stops were supposed to be around this side, but eventually I didn't take this trade, and price moved away from me. And yeah, that was on Wednesday. So you can see Tuesday I missed this one. On Monday I didn't take any trade. Tuesday I missed this move, and in the afternoon too I missed this. And yeah, I think this happened in the afternoon. Okay, it happened around 9 o'clock. So that early morning I missed this one too. Then on Wednesday I took this trade on Wednesday. So you can see we had a break of structure here, a break of structure around this zone, and then we put our stop here, and our target was here, just right here. So this was our entry, and this was our target. On Friday, which was a beautiful push I made. After this trade on Wednesday, which I made a beautiful money over here. Then on Thursday, because price had made this one, I had it in mind that now I need to take opportunity. I need to take really good chance. So I placed my buy stop here, which price came to take me out, and I was cool with that. I was like, okay, let me just re-enter again. So I got an entry here. This was a big move for me. 300. I made 300 and something pips. But made it. So first of all, I got. Why did I enter around this zone? I entered around this zone because price came to touch this side. You can see that there's a support, or anything how you call it. But if you go to the lower time frame, you see that you had a demand, you had a fair value gap over there. And first of all, we had our break of structure here. After the break of structure, then we came down to touch this fair value gap. And after this fair value gap, I don't really trade fair value gap. I'm not able to spot fair value gap like that. Then we went to the 15 minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes. Price went up, and I really like the way price went up with the momentum. Break the structure, came back again, went up again, and after that you can see that price is beginning to rally up. I was like, okay, let me just take this trade. So I took this trade around this zone, placed my stop beneath here, and then I think I entered around this break again. I entered around this break. Price went up, and now price was coming down again. And on this trade, I wanted to close this position here again, but I can't remember. US30 taught me a lesson. I was like, nah, let me just hold it, because you can see that there was massive move to the downside. And if I pay attention really well, you can see that price tapped this area. So it makes sense. So you can see price came to this area. It makes sense for price to make that move, but eventually I stood on my grounds. I was like, nah, let me just face it. What it is. If I lose, I lose. So I stood on my grounds. I was like, okay. And eventually price went up again. I was like, wow, that's a beautiful move. And I think that was the last trade I took. On Friday I missed the trade. I was supposed to take a break and retest, but I didn't get the break and retest, which it went up massively and produced another. So this week was full of activities, full of adrenaline, full of moves and all those things. And if you are really a skilled trader, you would have made a lot, and it was beautiful run. I really enjoyed the month of August. The month of July and August was spectacular for me. And so let's hope for the best in on September. All right.